Good morning. It's a little after 3 a.m. and I'm about to catch a train to Schopenhauer and then fly to London and then Dublin. So it begins. They're not open yet.
They're not. You're correct.
Hello. That's the mountain or hill we're running up tomorrow. The finish line is right there. But we run up one over here, we come down the backside and then come back up the backside of that to finish. So 2 big climbs. We've got the U.S. contingent getting ready for the parade. Nancy Hobbs, Miguel, Steve, Francis, Sarah. Sarah? It is Sarah. Yay. Richard, Susie. I haven't met you yet. Sandra and Paul.
Hi, what?
Hi, what? It's Megan, right? No.
Katie.
Katie. It is race morning and I'm a little groggy. I got some good sleep last night. I'm at an Airbnb and it was pretty cozy and I didn't think about the race once, which is really uncommon for me. Even though I don't care how I do, there's a part of my brain that wants to spin on things, probably related to preparation. Do I have everything I need? Am I going to miss a time? Am I going to get there too late? So there's my tummy rumbling. Got to eat something. Got some oats. Anyway, it's raining outside and it's going to rain all day. It's going to be a very rainy race. Let me show you what it looks like out the window. Ooh, I see blue sky. Maybe there's a little break in the rain for a moment. Anyway, this is Clonmel, Ireland. Got my Team USA kit with a number with my name on it. And this is the biggest race number I have ever seen. They're huge. And we've got to wear one on the front and one on the back. And these things are monstrous. And I'm going to be running in some new magic shoes. These are the Adidas Adizero Avanti TYO. Normally I would just run in regular cross-country spikes, and these are cross-country spikes. Actually, no, I'm wrong. These are track spikes. You can tell, but because that's just foam in the back. There's no like rubber on the bottom. There's some little textured groovy things to give me some traction. And you can see right there are 3 energy rods, which give you a little bit of spring. But the reason I got these, they've got a ton of forefoot cushion. Super cushy. For the downhills, I really wanted a lot of cushion under my forefoot because of my toe injury. So my cross-country spikes that I normally would have worn, they have very little padding in the front. These have a rock plate and a bunch of foam. So the downhills are not going to beat me up as much because they're going to be insanely fast. We're going to be running probably 430 per mile downhill or faster in muddy, rocky conditions. So these the shoes, I'm excited to try out that cushion. I did one test run in them and I absolutely loved the amount of cushion they have in the forefoot. It's probably the most cushioned track spike out there. Yeah, so here we go. Yeah, yeah. Represent.
Please contact gate F4.
Hey everybody, I'm back in Lund, Sweden, and I thought I would catch you up on what happened at the World Masters Mountain Running Championships this past weekend in Clonmel, Ireland. I went in, as I said in the previous video, just as an experiment. I wanted to see what primarily ski training would do for running fitness. And I got some really good data. And again, I'm focused on process and experimentation much more than I'm focused on particular results. Because if you're focused on a result going in, then you can be disappointed. But if your goal is experimentation, then the so-called result is actually just data. What do I do with that data? How does that affect my process going forward? So my goal in this event was not to get a particular place, but to see what types of experiences I had in the midst of the effort on different terrains. Where did I do well? Where did I not do so well? How am I on the steep climbs? How am I on the paved climbs, the trail climbs, the gradual climbs, the downhills, the flats, the transitions? That's all really important data to collect for mountain and trail running. Very different than road running, which is basically put yourself in a particular gear and hold on. But in a mountain and trail race, when the terrain and the footing varies so much, it's really good to know what you're prepared for and what you're not. So, with that being said, the race went off on a flat paved road. And surprisingly, I felt super comfortable. I went into my long, lopey stride that I use for road races, and pretty quickly moved into a lead group of 3. And my heart rate was 150, and we were running in the mid 5-minute pace area, probably, I don't know, 520, 530, and it felt super good. So I just stayed there, again, tuning into my heart rate most importantly. You want to keep it in the low 150s at the beginning of a race, or at least I do, based on my max heart rate and my race effort. So really comfy at the start. We turned a corner and maybe a kilometer in, and the course started to climb on pavement and felt really good. Did my very upright, short, springy steps, kind of like a stride that you would have on an elliptical machine. I've been playing around with this, just standing really, really upright and kind of pushing out the back with a little bit of a bounce. Not up, but a forward bounce. And that engages my glutes and my calves more than it engages my quads. So I did that, felt really comfortable. Heart rate was still in the 150s, and the grade was probably 18%. It was pretty steep. Was in the lead with 2 guys right next to me. But maybe another kilometer into the climb, one of the guys surged, the eventual winner of the race. And I looked at my heart rate and I said, I want to stay here. And some other people chased after him. One of my teammates, Todd, chased after him. And I thought, that's okay, I'll reel them in later. But as the climb progressed, I felt my quads, which were now getting more engaged as time went by, I felt them not so happy with that particular grade on pavement. So I thought I'll just stay at this pace, don't do anything stupid, because you got a lot of racing ahead of you. And then when we got to the top of the climb, I was probably in 8th place, and we came to a long downhill, and I really opened it up, and I reeled in a couple people, and I brought Todd back towards me. They probably got 45 seconds or more on me on that climb. So I brought Todd back within maybe 10 seconds on the downhill. But then we had another really steep climb in the woods, really bumpy. And I tried some Bigfoot, as I said I would in the video, and that was really helpful. But my quads were shot at that point. They were done. Which again, this is data, so it's not about being a particular identity that needs a particular result to feel good. I just wanted to see what the data was and then make adjustments. So at that point, the data was your quads are not that strong, at least not for running uphill, compared to the best guys in the world. So they pulled away from me on that big steep climb, but the Bigfoot did keep me with a couple people. And then we had some more downhills, and I opened up and I brought some people back in again. But then there were more uphills, pretty steep. Tried the Bigfoot, it's effective, but I was already losing more and more time as the race went on. So all in all, I did well. I got 14th, which I'm very pleased with. I was right between Todd, my teammate, and Steve, my other teammate. So we were the top 3 US guys. And at the US Championships, it was Todd, myself, and Steve. So I was right in the middle, which is a good place to be. I race against those guys all the time. And I'm happy with that result, especially considering that I wasn't running as training for this event. But the experimental data told me that even though I've got pretty good general fitness, I'm not specifically tuned for mountain running. I'm good at it, but I'm not at a super elite level like I was in the past. And if I want to be competitive as a mountain runner, then I need to do more mountain running. And one of the things that really tuned me into that was yesterday, which was Monday. I did a roller ski. And let me back up just a hair. When you do an up and downhill race, the downhills tear your legs to pieces. So you get what they call DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. You're pretty sore the day after the race, but 2 days after the race, it's just brutal. You can barely walk. Going downstairs is just it's a near impossibility because of that eccentric, which means the muscle is lengthening. So when you're going down a steep hill, your muscles are getting longer under 5 to 8 times the load that you have on the muscle when you're running on flat ground. And judging by the speed that I was running down those hills, it was probably 8 times my body weight. So massive load forces on your quads. So going downstairs, just brutal, super hard time walking yesterday. But I popped on the roller skis and felt nothing at all. And even did a bit of a tempo. I went after one of the Strava segments here in Sweden and ended up, I don't know, I think 5th overall, which is pretty darn good considering this is Sweden. There's some pretty extraordinary roller skiers here in this area. Anyway, my legs were totally fine on roller skis. So what that tells me is that roller skiing does nothing for running fitness for your legs. It perhaps is very good for your cardiovascular system. You can develop very high VO2 max, but as far as fitness for running uphill, it does not translate. So the leg strength that I've been developing on roller skis, because it does require a great deal of leg strength, does not translate into running. It's a completely different strength. So that's super good data to get. It also tells me that running doesn't translate that well into roller skiing. Again, you can get cardiovascular fitness, and maybe in the classic ski technique as opposed to the skating technique. In the classic technique, I bet running translates a bit more. But skating, I really don't see it. And when I look at the training of the top roller skiers in this area, I look at them on Strava, they're primarily roller skiing and they're doing very little running at all. And they're super fast. So that's the data that I collected from this event. The elliptical, that obviously helped. My Bigfoot light on the treadmill, that obviously helped. The tiny bit of running I did maybe once a week, sometimes twice a week, that helped a little bit. But the roller skiing, not so much, other than perhaps giving me a larger aerobic capacity, cardiovascular capacity. So if I were to go to an event like this again, I would definitely do more running prior to the event. But now I'm more focused on ski season as the fall approaches. So my training is going to be focused primarily on ski activities. And I think the Bigfoot and the elliptical serve me well there, as well as roller skiing. So I'll probably do some running as the fall goes on, just because I miss it, running in the woods. But other than that, I'm a skier. And the thing is, it's the best I've ever placed at a world championships in mountain running. I want to say 5th, but it might be 8th. So it's definitely 8th with a possibility of being 5th. But in skiing, in my first year, I've already placed 4th. And that was just 1.8 or 1.9 seconds behind second place. So second, third, and fourth, we all sprinted to the line. And I wasn't even pushing hard because of my heart condition. So I think I'm a much better skier already than I've ever been as a mountain runner. And that's exciting. So I'm even more motivated to double down on my ski training, because I think I've got a shot of winning next year at the World Championships in Austria in skiing. So that's the goal, to just get better and better as a skier. I'll still be a runner, but skiing has my heart for now. Okay, hopefully you could hear this in the midst of the wind. It's southern Sweden, Skåne they call it, and it's always windy. So anyway, that's the championship story. So more experiments to come. And we'll see. I'm curious now to do a 5K because on the road, that first kilometer felt so easy with a heart rate in the low 150s or 150 flat. So I'm very curious to see what I could do for a 5K right now without running. If I do, I'll keep you in the loop. All right, see you for now.